Welcome to episode 4 of the Hardcore Records 2 Vinyl Nerds series, Volume 2. Today, we get to speak with Rob about his vinyl collection and what the music means. All right. So, this is the Hardcore Record. This is 2 Vinyl Nerds Volume 2 with Rob. Let's get into this.
Yes.
Now, I remember at one time, I think when you lived on the island and your records were in a closet. But I was digging through them, and I feel like I know you have more of an extensive hardcore record collection than I do.
Yeah, I mean, I just broke the 2,000 mark, which is cool. You know?
Oh, there you go.
Having been collecting since 91, I guess.
Yeah,
It's kind of a landmark, you know.
that is
Pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But it kind of encapsulates all genres. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've got Elvis Costello records, The Police, Led Zeppelin, but the majority of it is just punk and hardcore, indie rock,
Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree.
So my question to you is: do you want to stick to just hardcore?
No. This is all whatever. It's just about vinyl records.
All right,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Good.
So like when I first had kids, they only saw records. So when they were old enough and they got in the car and they saw a CD, they were like, "What is that?" And I was like,
thing?
"Yes, I'm so proud of myself right now."
I know. Parents 1, kids 0.
Yeah, didn't even tell them about cassette tapes. Skipped over that too.
Okay,
yeah.
I mean, for me, growing up, buying records, like I can honestly say, Brian, I've only purchased one CD, and it was because I couldn't find it on vinyl at all. I went, some friends of mine and I drove out to Chicago to see Leatherface one year, because that was the closest east they were coming. I think Bush was in office. Baby Bush was in office. Yep. And they were like, fuck the United States. We're not going there. We're playing a handful of shows, and they're Chicago, Texas, whatever. But they didn't come to fucking New York or Philly at that time. And I was like, I gotta fucking see Leatherface. This is crazy. So we drove to Chicago and caught them 2 nights in a row, and they only had Mush on CD. And I was like, I fucking need this in my collection. It's the only CD I ever bought. Years later, I got a bootleg of it on vinyl.
Oh.
The sound is okay, but I've been hunting down like an original. All their records go for so much, and I'm not really ready to drop that amount of dough,
I know. You have to be prepared.
You know what I mean? Being a completist is tough, dude. Especially with 2 kids,
Yeah, dude, I'm right there with you.
Like I want everything I can possibly get by every band I love on vinyl, but it's just impossible.
That's where I'm at right now. I have a complete Ann Beretta and a Veil collection.
Oh, sick. That's
But my goal over the next, I guess in my later years, is to get all of the original Colesk stuff.
Oh shit, yes. I saw that they're re-releasing a lot of that shit, like
everything.
Oh my god, it's so fucking rad, and I'm like, I see the post on Instagram or whatever, and I smile because I'm like, oh, I have all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, I got all the early stuff. I need like the later albums and like some various little 7-inches.
Since we're on the topic of Coalesce, one of my favorite fucking layouts is Functioning on Impatience.
Yes.
Because it was like a fold over, right? And then there was like a piece. So it was, the cover art is that spine.
Yep.
It's like a fucking spine, and it's like a fold over. And then there's a piece of cellophane that folds over that with all the like song titles and shit, like pointing at the spine. It's fucking awesome. It's so
I love that
cool.
album. The package, the album, everything about it.
Great record. The package is great, and I'm like, why the fuck doesn't shit like this happen now? I haven't bought anything new in quite some time. What? That's a lie. There's this band called Gouge Away. Have you heard them?
No.
They're kind of like Okay, so there's like these bands these days, young kids, they're into it,
Yep.
putting out records, touring, playing shows, but they tend to like just mash all their influences into one, which I'm okay with. I think it's great, but like there's no what in the '90s, growing up as a teenager, there were very clear dividing lines. Like that's a punk band, this is
Yes.
a hardcore band, they're an indie rock band. Now you get all that in one band. You know what I mean? Which isn't a bad thing, but it's just confusing to me. And I'm like, what are they going for here? But this band Gouge Way just put out a new record on Death Wish, and it's fucking great. I love it. It's like a little bit Pixies, a little bit Fugazi. Like, it's fucking awesome. It's so good. And I'm like, this is great. And I'm going to see them. They're opening for a band called Metz. METZ. I don't know how to pronounce it, but they've been a band for a while now. Canadians, and they play this like real bass-driven, discordant, like just heavy shit. I fucking love it. They're one of my favorite bands in the past 10 years. Gouge Way's opening for them, so it's going to be a great show for me.
Yeah.
Give me a lot. I caught Gouge Way. They opened for somebody, I forget who, and I didn't really know them. And I was like, oh shit, they're fucking good. So
that's the best feeling, seeing an opening band that you
that I never heard of.
Yeah.
Young kids, they got a girl singer, and it's like they're fucking going for it, and it's great.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so the past, I guess that was like 5 years ago, maybe like right before things got weird with COVID. So I've been like trying to find their records and building up the collection. Gouge Way. They're good, cool band.
That's awesome. I'm glad you still get excited about new music.
Yeah.
Too,
I didn't, honestly, I didn't think it would happen at 48, but it's happening.
I know. It does. There's this new band that I love. I don't know if you heard of them, Gel.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw them. I think they opened for Gorilla Biscuits.
Yeah. I think they did that tour.
Yes. Yeah. I caught them in AC. They were fun.
Yeah, they're absolutely fun. I did. I jumped on the bandwagon and got their vinyl. And,
okay, cool.
That's kind of what got me back into like getting vinyl again.
Okay.
I was like, oh, I need to have this.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's kind of you find that band and you're like, fuck, I need everything they have on record.
Yeah, because it's going to go away.
I get it.
And then you're not going to get it, and you know that now. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
But I think like I'm going to backtrack. Like starting collecting records to back in the early '90s, the VFW hall shows, bands only put out 7 inches.
Right.
And that's kind of where I got interested into it, or introduced to it.
Sure. Yeah.
Nowadays you have it on like every type of platform, but
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you a story. I know the very first 7-inch I ever bought.
Yes, do it.
If you want to hear the story, but okay, so I wish I could remember who was playing, but it was like 90, 91, 92, maybe. I was at the Wetlands in New York City. You ever been there? You've been there.
No, never been to that
We've been there together. No?
Did we?
I don't know. Maybe. Did you see Endpoint there?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember. Besides, some of it's vague. Some of it's
okay.
Vague. Go on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I've been jogging my memory for the past week. Just like fuck. And I do have a tendency, even back then, to just merge stories in my brain. To make this elaborate, awesome story with true.
And then you tell your friends, and they're like, "That's not how it happened."
That's not how it happened, dude. That's like 2 different days, 2 different years. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's even worse now. But I do remember being at the Wetlands. I don't remember who was playing, and I picked up a little flyer. It was like this little thing, little 1-sheet thing, and it said New York City's newest record store, The Loft, and it gave the address. And I was like, fuck, the next time I'm in the city, I'm going there, and I'm going to buy some fucking records. So, I don't know, maybe, it seemed like there were great shows happening every fucking week, back then, which probably still happens now, but it probably still happens now, but I'm just old and out of it. And
you can't keep up with all this stuff.
I can't do it.
There's so many bands.
Yeah, right. So anyway, next trip I was in New York City, I'm like, dude, we got to go to the Loft. So we went to the Loft, and it wound up being the Equal Vision Records headquarters. So
no way.
Right? Yeah. So I rang the fucking bell, and they got on the intercom. They're like, yeah, what's up? I'm like, hey, can I come upstairs and buy some records? And they're like, oh, shit, yeah, okay. Like, I don't think they really expected anyone to come to the fucking loft, you know? So me and two of my friends, you know, they buzzed us in. We went upstairs, you know, and it opened up to this huge, like, what do they call, studio apartment, you know, and there was like
Uh-huh.
a little corner with all Equal Vision releases at the time. And this was like 90, 92, 91, 92. So
And
there
they
wasn't,
had like who's who in hardcore on
they
those
had
bands on that
everything.
label.
But,
Yeah.
but as of late, like they had other shit there. But as Equal Vision, there was only a they didn't have a lot of releases
No.
at that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm flipping through this box and I see Shelter, No Compromise on blue wax. And I'm like, holy fuck. It's got Free Will on side A. And I forget, I think Saranagati on side B. I can look it up real quick, but Free Will's like the greatest Shelter song ever fucking written, in my opinion. But I'm like, dude, I have to have this. So I fucking bought it, and that was the first ever 7-inch I bought. And then from then on, it's just been, you know, downward financial ruin, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I remember that day so specifically because, like Kate from 108 was there. Like she lived there. They lived. Kate and Steve from 108 or from Equal Vision lived in that loft, and she made us. She had carrot cake. Like she gave us a slice of vegan carrot cake, and we're hanging out. I'm looking at records, eating vegan carrot cake, and fucking Steve and Kate from Equal Vision are hanging out. I'm like, this is fucking wild, you know? And they had T-shirts, you know, the whole fucking thing. And Victory was big back then, you know what I mean? Victory.
Yeah.
They had a ton of like Victory gear there, and I'm like, wow, this is wild. But it wasn't a store by any means. It was their fucking house, you know? And I guess they were just fucking inviting people up to buy records and shit. But I'm like, man, this is fucking wild. It was cool.
That's awesome.
So that's what set the ball in motion. That blue Shelter 7-inch. Let me find out what's on the B side. I'm gonna go to Discogs real quick because that's fucking bothering me. I should know this.
You should know it. It's not easy to remember at all.
It's been so long, man. And I have, you know, it's been sitting in a box for who knows how long too.
Yeah, I just built record shelves.
Yeah.
You know, on my wall, and I got to kind of reorganize everything, and that's how I found all those doubles that I sent you.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. See, I just have all my 7-inches in boxes, but my LPs are on they're on a shelf. Yeah, just because you know, I spin LPs more than I do 7-inches because I don't want to get up and down all the fucking time.
Oh, absolutely.
To flip it over.
Yeah.
You know? And you know, back then, I you know, I had a tape deck in the car, so I would just record everything to tape and just listen to tapes. But that, I feel like that's a lost art too, you know, because kids are just like, it's all digital. Like
I had the CD recorder.
Free Will Saranagati.
Yeah. I had a CD recorder, so I would record all the records on the CD.
Oh, sick! Yeah.
It took me a whole summer to record it all back then. But I finally did it. You know.
That's awesome.
I started to try to charge some of my friends, like locally, like in town, like, you know, like, hey, can you put this on CD? I'm like, yeah, give me like $10. They're like, no. I'm like, then no.
Give me $10. Give me $10.
I don't think I ever got paid for anything.
Yeah,
though.
Right. Give me $10. I'll buy more records and I'll put those on CD for you.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, right? Just building the collection. I'm fucking going off on tangents here. I'm sorry.
It's all right. One of my early 7-inches I got that I absolutely love, and I love this band way back in the day, and not many people, I don't even think, remember them or know about them, is Endeavor. It was the Luke Perry and the Sweat Lodge 7-inch. And
yeah, that's hard to come by. Do I?
Yeah, I have it. And
awesome.
I've seen them, I think, once, I believe, I remember correctly.
Yeah.
In VFW Hall.
Yeah. I caught them. You know, again, I could be wrong, but it was definitely the Shrewsbury Elks, which is like right outside Red Bank.
Yep.
Definitely saw them down there, and it might have been with Hot Water Music and Lifetime, because the pictures on the insert of Forever and Counting by Hot Water Music were taken at that show, and you can see dudes from Endeavor like standing behind the drum kit.
Oh, no way.
I think I'm
have that on my shelf.
Yeah, check it out because some of the dudes from Endeavor are in those photos. But that was a great show.
Yeah.
Luke Perry and the Sweat Lodge. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of Equality. Yes. Endeavor of Equality. Yeah.
Of Equality. That was the name of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I have that one. Yeah, dude, their record, Crazier Than a Shithouse Rat.
Yep.
That fucking record, so fucking good, dude.
Oh, I know.
Like, for the time, and plus for the time it came out, like, they were just doing that, like, just fucking crazy.
How do I say this? It's like,
oh my God,
yeah,
fucking good.
Back then, coming up with what some of the bands came up with, it still blows me away.
Yes.
You go back and you listen to something that you just haven't listened to in forever, and you forgot that you ever listened to it.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, like Dead Guy's another one.
Yes.
That whole band.
Fucking Dead Guy.
But back to new bands. Have you listened to the Bitter Branches?
Oh, of course. Yeah. I have their records.
I bought that vinyl. Did you get that one?
I got the EP and I got your Neighbors Are Failures or your Neighbors.
Yeah, I like the packaging on that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it's fucking cool. That booklet is really cool.
Yeah. And then he had the lyrics, and then there was like a little like description about the song, and it was just like, so much went into it. And
right,
they're from back then, that they put all that effort into it, and that it just meant so much more.
Yes, yeah, and I feel like dudes that are still in it, still doing bands, still take the care to do that kind of shit. Whereas newer bands are just like, okay, we recorded this song, we're gonna put it up on Spotify. That's what it is. Maybe a label will put out their record. Some effort goes into it. You know what I mean? But it's just not. It just feels different.
It does. It does. I feel like nothing against bands and doing what they do, because everyone comes up with their own thing. But a lot of it is just a little too fast for me anymore. Like back then, there was just this pace to it.
Yeah.
That kind of like they didn't let themselves get like too fast. Even if it was like a fast thrash band or whatever, just a fast hardcore band, it still had a decent pace to it.
Yes.
A lot of bands nowadays just it's a little mixed up.
It does. Yeah. And it's I guess that's just the natural evolution of things. You know what I mean? I mean, I didn't back when I was teenager, early 20s, I didn't think about what the scene was going to be like, when 20 years on. But it's funny. Here's a funny thing. I had friends back then that would be like, okay, so what are you going to do when you're 40? You still going to go to shows? I'd be like, if a good band is playing, yeah, I'm fucking going to a show. Like, why wouldn't you? Like, like, is this like just a youth revival thing for you, and then you're done? Like, you're just gonna be a fucking teacher and tuck your shirt into your sweats? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. No,
and
I
these
know
are
exactly
close friends of mine. These are friends of mine that went to shows with me, and they're like, "You gonna still be doing this at 45?" I'm like, "Yes. If there's a good band playing, I'm fucking going to see them."
There's there's a town nearby me now, New Bedford, and there's What?
I got a good story about New Bedford. I went to a festival there, New Bedford Fest.
Oh, all right. Hold on.
They did it like a couple years in a row, but the one year I went, so many great bands played.
So there's the burger joint, and they'll put on shows at night.
Sick.
And recently, Great Falls. You ever listen to them?
No.
So ex-members of other bands, they're on tour with Botch right now, so they played.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you see Botch when they came around?
Yeah. Well, I went up to that. There was no way I was missing that. That was absolutely phenomenal. That was with Cave In and Converge. Yeah.
Oh, you got the stellar bill. I mean.
Oh yeah.
I caught him in Philly. I forget who opened, but it was cool. It was fun, but I had a chance to see them a handful of times before they had broken up.
Yeah.
And seeing them on this reunion tour, dude, they just.
I know. Yeah. I know. I can't describe it.
Fucking speechless. And I saw people after the show, and we would just look at each other, just dumbfounded, like, what the fuck did we just witness? That was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, they were true masters of their craft, man, and God, they were so fucking good.
And so that plays
not that they were bad back then; they were great back then.
No,
but now, like, with the age and the wisdom behind all the touring they did and shit, like, man, they fucking honed their skills, dude.
They were another pioneering band.
Fuck yeah, I know.
So I go to shows in New Bedford, like, the family, awesome. The kids will go to bed, and I shoot out at like 9:00 at night. Only on a Friday or Saturday, though. Can't do that shit during the week. But and then I just go, and there's all these new bands play, and you just end up talking to the people, and everyone just has like a good time. And
so great.
You just join in a conversation and don't know the people, then you just meet the people, and I'm like, this is how it
doesn't matter, because you're all there under the guise that we're all in this together. You know what I mean? That's how it should be. That's how it should have always been.
Yeah, there's a lot of good bands I've been finding out of New Bedford that are really cool.
That's awesome.
There's a band called Wound Man. There's a band called Don't Grow Old, Riverbed. Real good screencore. Wound Man is something that's really neat. I saw them once, and the dude's just on stage screaming, but he knows like every single beat and every single chord, and the way he moves, he's just moves with the music so well. He's like choreographing it, but it's just being played. He's like in sync with it. Like, something you don't see a lot at all in general.
Yeah, right. I think a lot of that, I don't know, somehow a lot of that gets lost. I don't know.
You know who I saw recently? All Chrome.
Get the fuck out of here. They're still a band?
They're from New Bedford.
Oh, I knew they were from Massachusetts. I didn't know.
So
okay.
a Wilhelm screen played,
what the fuck?
And All Chrome was opening up, and I was like, what? And it was the coolest thing for me ever, because I'm like, I always remember this band All Chrome, and I move up here, and now, there I got to see him.
Yeah.
That was a cool show. But what about your New Bedford Fest? Let's go back to that.
Okay, yeah. So as I was listening, I was scouring the internet, and I think I found it was New Bedford Fest '96.
Oh wow.
Yeah. This 2-day is a 2-day thing. First day, Chokehold, Despair, Enkindle, Gameface, Lifetime, Piebald, Reversal of Man, 10-Yard Fight, Texas is the Reason, and The Promise Ring. That's so fucking 96. You know what I mean?
That is awesome. I have this old Reversal of Man 7-inch on, like clear yellow.
Yes, it's so rad. Day 2, Cable, Cast Iron Hike, Dahlia Seed, Damnation AD, Inkwell, New Day Rising, Still Suit, and Walleye. It was I remember.
Damnation AD. I'd like to see them.
Fuck, man, they were. I caught Dead Guy and Damnation in was it Baltimore? Somewhere in Maryland in like 96, 97. Man, Damnation AD was just
it's
next
so cool. Yeah.
Fucking level. No More Dreams of Happy Endings. That's one of my favorite fucking records of all time. Just records in general. That fucking record, front to back. It's a fucking.
I remember going to Red Bank and going to Black Cat Records. And seeing the Damnation AD record there.
Which one was it?
It had the blue cover, I think. A little bit of black and a little bit of blue on it.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's one of the ones I had to sell at one point, but but yeah, that just remember, like, it called out to me. I was just like, it's just I needed to have it.
It's awesome.
But they were supposed to play a show up here not that long ago.
Oh, really?
At some like hall show, and I went to it, but they had to cancel. But I didn't find out. I wasn't in the in crowd at that moment, so I found out when I got there. And some bands played. I think a band from Philly. I forget all the bands, but then this band Colin of Arabia did some like Misfits set. It was right around Halloween. So I was like, all right, I'll take it. I haven't seen that in a long time.
That's cool, yeah. But that's awesome. So I know you had an itinerary. I feel like we're way off track, but
Oh, we're good. We're good. We're hitting some
very cool.
things. What's
Yeah.
what's your favorite 10-inch
Oh,
that you
favorite
have?
10-inch. Okay. I meant to ask you this prior because you kind of sent me like what we were going to talk about. Is it favorite to listen to, favorite package, the like the whole thing, like
We'll just go through. You could do it separately. The package,
okay, because I
because
haven't.
that is important, and then your favorite one to listen to.
Yeah, okay. So the, my favorite 10-inch that I own is actually a double 10-inch. It's Sheer Terror, Love Songs for the Unloved.
Oh, I did not know they put that out on double 10
The
inch.
first pressing was a double 10-inch, and it's like it's numbered, but it's by a machine. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
the numbers are like stamped into the fucking jacket. I fucking love that record. I love Sheer Terror. I know Paul Bearer gets a lot of fucking guff, but
I know.
honestly, man, I mean,
I've gotten into
look,
them more and more as I've gotten older. I
you know,
absolutely love them.
he's done the same thing he always does. He speaks his mind, you know,
Yeah.
catches flack for it, and doesn't really apologize. Just stands behind how he feels and what he thinks. That's fucking punk rock. You know what I mean?
100%. That's
That's
what
it.
it's supposed to be.
And
Yep.
people give him shit all the fucking time for being a fucking loudmouth. I'm like, that's who he is.
Yeah.
Let him. Shut your fucking mouth and listen. You might learn something. You know what I mean?
True.
But
True.
I have an awesome story about Paul Bearer if I could tell it real quick.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, cool. Okay, cool. So a friend of mine would travel for work a lot, and whenever he was in New York, he would get a room on the company dime, and he would call me up and be like, "Hey, I'm going to be in New York tonight, tomorrow. Why don't you come up? We'll hang out. You crash the hotel, whatever." I'm like, "Okay, great." So I go up. There were no shows or anything, nothing that we knew about. But we went out to the bar. We went to a bar called Brownies. You ever go to Brownies? I'd seen a few shows there. I think Rival Schools played their first show there, maybe. But that was a good show. Anyway, we went to Brownies, and fucking Paul Bearer was checking IDs at the door. So I opened the.
Did you say something?
Of course I did. I opened the door and I was like, "Holy shit!" Like first thing out of my mouth, I'm like, "Holy shit!" And the only thing he said, "If you plan on drinking, show me your ID." I'm like, "Oh fuck, I will show you anything you want to see, Paul Bearer." So I gave him my ID, and I'm like, "So yeah, I know." So I'm like, "Okay, cool." So we're sitting at the bar. The place is empty. There's barely anyone there. It's like early. It's like 8 o'clock, on a fucking Wednesday night or something. Nothing happening. And I get a few in me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking go over there and talk to Paul, because at this point he was just sitting at the door, his foot up on the ledge, looking out the window, watching cars go by and shit. I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking talk to him. And Sheer Terror had been broken up at this point.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and he was doing Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey was a thing.
Yep.
So I went up to him and I'm like, "Hey man, I really like your bands. Sheer Terror was great. It was one of the first hardcore bands I ever heard. Just Can't Hate Enough. It's a fucking great record. Because some of the elder statesmen that I had hung out with, they were fucking Sheer Terror fanboys. They loved fucking Sheer Terror. Anything out of New York, they fucking loved it.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of like what was ingrained in me. And then ultimately, I just branched out and started listening to all kinds of weird shit. But anyway, talking to Paul Bearer, and I'm like, dude, Sheer Terror was important to me. It's one of the first bands I heard. He's like, cool, thanks. I'm like, you ever gonna get them back together? And he's like, snowball's chance in hell. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. And then we started talking about Joe Coffey. I'm like, dude, Joe Coffey's amazing, And he was like, everything cool?
Yeah.
So
yeah. We're good.
Yeah. So then we started talking about Joe Coffey, and I'm like, "You gonna tour? Like, what are you doing?" He's like, we we just played a handful of shows, working on the record, blah blah blah. But it was great. He was like very affable, super nice, easy to talk to, and I'm like, he's not such a monster. Why does everyone fucking give him shit all the time? It's great. He's fucking great,
Yeah.
And his lyrics are fucking just. He says a lot of shit that I think people are afraid to say. And like I mentioned earlier, he stands behind it. You know what I mean? He speaks his mind, puts it out there.
Yeah. But then as you're listening to it, you're just like, yeah, you feel it. You're
right.
Like, okay,
yeah.
It's awesome. Yep.
Yeah,
right there
awesome.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah. And when I was living in Florida, Joe Coffey came through, and I chatted him up. He didn't remember me. I didn't expect him to, but I chatted him up, you know. And again, he was just like super nice, super cool, easy to talk to. And I'm like, why does everybody give this guy such shit? Like, he's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So that
I heard something like years ago, like I think it was like a show, and he's like, and it said, I think it was somebody said something where like, yeah, he's like, we're making songs and singing, and everyone just starts beating each other up. They're like, stop beating each other up at our shows so we can have shows.
Yeah,
so they didn't get shut down or some shit,
Yeah. I remember at that Joe Coffey show, some bonehead in the crowd was like, "Blake just can't hate enough." He's like, "You're at the wrong show, buddy." You're like, wrong band. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't gonna. Yeah, he was just doing what he wants to do. I respect him for it. So
let's see. You have any oddball or die cut pieces?
I do. Yeah. So I have a few actually. I have a square 7-inch. Like they never cut it. It's just square. You ever hear that band, The Crimson Curse, out of San Diego?
I believe I remember them.
Justin Pearson from he does 31G Records. He was in The Locust. Just like
The Locust,
yeah, dude. He he's just like the guy in San Diego, always doing weird, fun, cool shit. His new band, Def Club, is fucking awesome. You gotta check him out. They just fucking rip the band. The band he's got, he does his vocaling style and he's fucking great at it. But the band he's got with Def Club, these dudes just fucking rip. They're tight as shit. Songs are minute and a half, under a minute. I love it. That's the kind of hardcore that I need in my life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just no frills, just fucking balls to the wall. Let's just fucking do this and get it over with. So, Crimson Curse, a band that he had done in the 90s, did a split 7-inch with a band, Festival of Dead Deer. They're okay. They're not great. But it's a square 7-inch. They didn't cut it. You know what I mean? Like, they just kept it fucking square. It's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then I have, oddly enough, the Crimson Curse, again, put out a 12-inch EP. It's like crystal clear, one-sided, and on the back is like all these bugs, like all these different roaches and fucking creepy crawlers. They just silkscreened a bunch of bugs on the flip side of it. I fucking love it so much because you hold it up, it's clear, and you just see all these bugs, and when it's spinning, like the bugs are just like on the turntable. I don't know, it's fucking cool. He just always does cool shit. And I also there's a band, Ruin Nation. You ever hear them?
Yeah, I think I have this one too.
I think, is it shaped like the United States?
Yeah, in the background sleeve is it's burning.
Yeah.
It's on fire. Yeah.
Brilliant. Fucking brilliant. That's one of my favorites.
That's funny because when I did the first episode with my buddy Mark, he talked about that one too.
Yeah.
Let's see if we keep this going. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. Did you ever get your hands on the right around the time that Coalesce split? They put out their demos.
Yes.
On the 10. Did you get one of those?
On a 10-inch, and it's like askew, like the
they
whole.
They did like 10 different shapes or something.
Yeah, they did like a fucking buzzsaw, I think.
Yeah, I got the egg-shaped one.
Okay, yeah. The one that I have is like the hole isn't in the middle. It's kind of off a little bit.
Yeah. Is it yellow?
Yeah.
That's the same one. Yeah. So we got the same one.
Yeah. I acquired that one on Discogs years later. And I will say, Discogs has made collecting fun again for me. You know what I mean? Because you remember Hurricane Sandy?
Yeah.
Came ripping through and fucked everything up. I lost about a third of my record collection in that storm.
Oh, Rob.
Dude, it was
real sad here. Wow.
Fucking heartbreaking.
Oh, man, I have no idea.
I was devastated. So, and I wasn't a member on Discogs yet, and I had heard about it. This was the 2013, 2012. Yeah. So I immediately signed up. I went on, and I started just buying shit that I had lost. You know what I mean? I lost that fucking Rival Schools record, so I bought that one. I lost some Sheer Terror records. I bought those again. I basically lost letters P through Z, which was, dude, it was fucking brutal, dude. And then, so I pretty much found everything that I had lost. And then, like, Discogs, the way the site is set up, they give the whole fucking, discography of all these bands. I'm like, fuck, I didn't know this existed. You know what I mean? So it's the past 10 years have left.
Yeah. When was this put out?
Financial ruin.
Where was I? I was there.
Yeah. But right. But that's what I'm saying. It's made collecting fun again. So I'm like, this is awesome. And now I'm buying like fucking replacements records, like original copies. I'm like, this is fucking great.
Yeah. I got a couple of those. Lady gave them to me that I met up with.
Oh yeah, you told me about.
Oh yeah. That was pretty cool.
So cool. It's great.
What's your favorite color that you own?
The favorite, yeah, that's a tough one. I've been thinking about this one a lot. Okay, so the first H2O record on Blackout, the first run of vinyl they did, it was clear with like a blue kind of like swirl in it, and it looks like fucking water. It's so fucking cool. And I'm like, this is brilliant. H2O record looks like water.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Always been one of my favorites, But yeah, that one's tough, man. I have so many different that's the only one that really comes to mind. But
I got a 10-inch that I enjoy. Casket Lottery split with Small Brown Bike.
Okay, yeah.
On clear vinyl.
Sick.
And
awesome.
It's one of my favorite records.
So it's a great one. It
was one record.
Collaborate on a song too. It's like a Casket.
All of them.
They're all collaborations.
All collaborations.
Okay.
And they do the David Bowie Under Pressure.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck. Yes.
One of the coolest covers of that song ever.
Yeah. No. It'll
Yeah.
That probably won't be topped. Yeah, I have that one. I just some things just get lost in the shuffle, man. I mean, I remember.
Oh, yeah.
I think I bought it. I saw them on tour, Casket Lottery and Small Brown Bike, at the Melody Bar in New Brunswick.
Oh,
if I remember correctly, I bought that 10-inch from them on that tour.
Oh, that's awesome. I have no recollection of where I got it.
Yeah.
For me,
I'm 90% sure I got it straight from them. Yeah, I'm looking at it now in Discogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. It's such a great record. Cool.
Have you ever had to sell your records?
Not that I had to, but I just willingly got rid of some things to get other things,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I got
you. Yeah. Like, so getting back to Discogs. So I bought 108 Holy Name from the band at City Gardens. They played a show, went to their, table, got a shirt, got the record. When I got home, there was no insert. Like, it was just like the fucking record in the sleeve and the jacket. I'm like, okay, whatever. Put it on, I'm listening to it, it's cool. And I'm like, fuck, I wish I had lyrics,
Yeah.
So fast forward, I don't know, 25 years later, I'm on Discogs, and I'm like, I know that record came with an insert. Let me see if someone's got it for sale. Someone had it, and we kind of went back and forth, and he was like, oh, you have, this... It was Interpol. You know that band Interpol?
No.
Indie rock band.
Oh, okay.
New York City. They're cool. They're good. I mean, they're still putting out records, and they're not as good in my opinion, but they're growing and changing and evolving. But the first three records were really good. And the guy that had the 108 record was like, yeah, I noticed you have their third LP on Gatefold. He's like, what do you think? How bad do you want this 108 with the insert? I'm like, all right, dude, let's do it. So we worked out a trade. So I got rid of that one, but I got the 108 with the insert, and then I went and sold my 108 without the insert. So I kind of, kind of won, I guess. You know what I mean?
Give and take, get what you want if you're happy.
Right,
That's all good.
yeah. So there's been a couple of instances like that, but I've never had to sell. Like I was never like in dire straits where I'm like, fuck, let me just unload my records and then work on getting them again. You know what I mean? It was always just like, I don't want this anymore. Someone else can enjoy it. And I would trade a lot. You know, like every few months back then, I would go through my collection and be like, I'm not really listening to this. So I'd get a stack. And I got a funny story about Black Hat, actually. I went to Black Hat with a stack of records. And Ari was working, and I'm talking to him, you know, and I'm like, okay, so Black Hat was the fucking best. Not just because Ari ran it, and he's like a great dude, and he's singer of lifetime, whatever. That's all secondary. That record store, without Ari, was the fucking best. Even without Ari, it was the fucking best record store. So anyway,
it was.
Ari,
it was.
It really was. They had everything.
Everything that we were into.
It was there. And it got to the point where I would walk in the door, Ari would see me and be like, hey, come here. And he'd bring me over to the rack. He'd be like, I just got this in. I know you want it. I'm like, you're right. I do. I want this. I'm buying this today. You know what I mean? Like, he knew. Yeah. He knew exactly what I was into, what I was looking for. He just somehow inherently knew. So I went in with a stack of records. And, you know, we were talking. And I'm like, look, I'm not looking for top dollar. I just want to go through the bins, maybe find a couple things, and you can take these off my hands, and I could, you know, maybe get something I want. He's like, okay, cool. So I'm shopping around, and then one of his employees goes over to because I left the stack up by the register. One of his employees goes over to the register. He's looking through. He's like, hey. And he's calling over to me. He's like, hey, are these yours? I'm like, yeah, I want to trade them in. He's like, come here. And I go over there, and he's like, how much do you want for this one? I'm like, dude, I already talked to Ari. I'm just going to find something I want. We're going to work it out. We're going to trade. He's like, dude, I'll give you $10 for this one right now. I'm like, well, wait, dude, I've already kind of worked something.
I already made a deal.
I don't want to do this. It was really fucking awkward and weird. And then Ari came out, and he was like, what are you doing, man? Like, what the fuck? It was funny. We all laughed about it, but it was very weird. You know what I mean? Like, that his employee was trying not to pull one over on him, but he really wanted that record. And I'm like, I would, but you know, I'm shopping under the guise that Ari is going to get these and sell them. You know, it was funny, but it was just such a great record store. It was just so great, you know. And then they had like those in-stores. They had in-store performances. I think Antidote played, that old New York hardcore band.
Yeah,
got back together and
went
played,
to those.
like, in the fucking store. It was amazing. It was so cool. So cool. And it was fun. It was fun just getting to know Ari more. You know, just, you know, only knowing him from being in the band and reading his lyrics, and you get an idea of who he is and how he is and what he does. But getting to know him one-on-one, especially in a record store setting, you know, because he's like...
Because that's where we all come out of our shells when we like now just, talking about our music cool. and everything.
Yeah, right. Like I got to meet his fucking dog and shit. Like it was awesome. It was so cool. Great. It's a lot of fun. I loved going there. Even if I wasn't buying anything, if I was ever in Red Bank, I would just go there just to hang. Ari. You know, just talk to Ari if you were there or whoever. It's cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Brian.
No, we're good. I'm just gonna.
I'm a fucking chatterbox today, dude.
It's great. What's one that you're What's one that you're chasing right now that you want?
So you asked me about the first 6 Rev records.
Or first 4. I looked them up today, but
I need the Warzone 7-inch. I need Rev number 1. I've been fucking hunting it down forever. You remember Ian Smith, OS 101?
Yeah.
He's got one.
And you keep trying to bug him for it.
He talks so much shit about it, like he doesn't want it, but he's never gonna get rid of it. You know what I mean? It's fucking Ian. I know how he is. It's funny, but that's like, if I could get that one, I would be happy. But I have Rev 2, the Together comp, but it doesn't have a fucking insert, and it drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah, but you still got it.
I still have it, yeah.
Yeah, and then it was Sick of It All, and then the Gorilla Biscuits.
Sick of It All, Gorilla Biscuits, and then Side by Side, No for an Answer. By the way, that No for an Answer 7-inch, fucking amazing. It's so raw and just rough and it's fucking Dan O'Mahony, you know. It's just fucking. I love that 7-inch. It's so fucking good, so good. But you know what's funny? Let me tell you a quick story about how I acquired Rev number 2. This is great. This is great. So I had so there were like a handful of older dudes in my town, you know, and we would like, you know, they were skaters. The one dude had a ramp in his backyard, and then like, you know, I got aboard when I was 12, and I would like go to his house and be like, hey, I can skate your ramp, you know. He was only a couple years older than me, but you know, when you're 13 and they're fucking 17, it feels like whoa, these dudes are old, you know, they're experienced, but it's really only 4 years, you know what I mean? But in that time frame, it's just it's weird, you know what I mean? So I always looked up to these guys, and then ultimately we would go to shows together, and you know, we would just skate all the time and shit. But at the time, so fast forward a couple years, he's leaving for college. This guy Jay, and at this point, you know, he was 18. At this point, I was 15, and I was just getting into record collecting, you know, and I was buying things on tape. You know what I mean? Like Statue, Bold, you know, and he had all this shit on vinyl. And he's like, I don't want to take these records to school with me, and I don't want to leave them in my parents' house. I'm like, okay, I got a deal for you. I'll give you the cassette versions of all these records if you want to give me the records. I will take care of them for you. And he's like, okay. So he just handed me all these fucking records for the cassette versions of them, so they were easier for him to transport to school. And I'm like, dude, you're fucking out of your mind, but I'm not going to say a fucking word
because you're making out on the deal. Hell yeah!
So in that haul, I got Statue, the Filter the Infection EP on white. I got the Bold Looking Back EP on gray. What the fuck? I got Shelter, Perfection of Desire on maroon. Like, he just had all this shit, and I had all the tapes. So I'm like, okay, this is great. You know, and maybe I gave him a couple bucks, you know, too, just because I felt bad. And I think he knew. He had to have known that, you know, that vinyl was way more collectible than fucking tapes. But at that point, he just didn't care.
Yeah, but like you said, yeah, at that time, it didn't fit.
Like, he's like, I'm going to school. I'm probably not going to go to shows anymore. I really don't care about the shit. You know what I mean? And it was just like one of those things. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Yeah. And in that hall was fucking Rev number 2. Unbelievable. I think about it now, and I'm like, what a fucking dummy. You know? And I wonder, I haven't spoken to him in years. I wonder if he ever was like, oh man, I fucked up. You know, I don't know. But it's just funny. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird how you acquire things sometimes, you know? But yeah, if I could get my hands on that Warzone 7-inch, I'll be fucking happy. And I know the obvious answer is Judge Chung King, but they fucking go for like thousands of dollars, dude. It's
yeah. It's so hard to kind of spend that kind of money.
Yeah, I know, man.
It's like you would love to have it, but at the same time, it's like.
But then what? Yeah. It's gonna sit.
You could do other things with that money. You know?
Sit in between, you know, K and L on my fucking shelf. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's weird.
I have some early Modest Mouse records.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, I think I have We Were Dead Before the Ship Even Sank. Not the early ones, but I do have the first 45.
Sick.
Yeah, the Blue Cadet 3, which is a pretty pricey one.
Yeah.
Cool. I think if I ever found those anywhere, I would just like take them and run.
Yeah. That's funny.
All right, man. This has been fun. This is great trips down memory lane here. So.
Yeah. If I could tell you about my favorite 7-inch real quick.
Yes, do it.
Remember Ink and Dagger, right?
Yeah.
Their first 7-inch, Love Is Dead, it had that little like tombstone insert. It was like the size of, you know, it was like a 4 or 5, maybe 6-inch insert, and it unfolded. Like, it was like unfolded until like a foot long, and it had like all the lyrics and shit, but it was shaped like a fucking tombstone, and it fit like right in the front. There was a little slot in the front of the fucking cover, and it just fit right in there. And the cover was like a graveyard, but like the insert was the gravestone. That was just fucking neat, you know. It's just cool shit.
That's awesome. One of my favorite.
It's on white, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Great. One of my favorite titles is an Ink and Dagger 7-inch. Where I got to see if I can remember this. We'll take this 7-inch and stab it through
drive this 7-inch stake through my Philadelphia
heart. Yeah. I don't know if I was with you, but they played up in like some college. It might have been New Brunswick, and they would spray blood everywhere, or fake blood.
Yeah. No, I only caught them once, and it was at the church. With, I think that band Guilt played. Do you remember Guilt?
No.
It was Duncan from Endpoint doing like metal, not metal, but like heavier shit than Endpoint.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Guilt was on that bill. Again, I could be combining things in my brain, but but yeah, I only saw them that one time, unfortunately. They were fun. They were good live. Another funny story, a friend of mine used to like make out with the guitar player, and like they weren't like dating or anything, but they would just like hang out and hook up and shit. And I went and stayed with her in Bethlehem. She was going to school in Bethlehem, and she mentioned Ink and Dagger. I'm like, oh shit, yeah, they're great, you know. She's like, yeah, you know, me and Jorge used to hook up. I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. Like, what the fuck? How come? Like, introduce me, you know.
Yeah.
Let me hang out with them.
Yeah.
But okay, so real quick, I kind of stole a record from her. I was staying with her for like a week. And then she had friends in Atlanta. We drove down to Atlanta, and we saw Jawbreaker in Atlanta. This was 95, I think, right before Dear You had come out.
Mm-hmm.
They were on tour. We were visiting her friend in Atlanta, and I'm like, I know what we're doing tonight. We're going to see Jawbreaker. I don't care if you guys don't want to go. We're going. You know, it was that kind of thing. Her friends were into Jawbreaker, but they really didn't have any interest in going to the show. And I'm like, look, I drove down here from New Jersey, and Jawbreaker's playing. We're fucking going. You know what I mean? So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but so then we drove home, and we were talking about records, and she's like, oh yeah, I have this Jawbreaker record, and I don't know where I got it, or she's like, I don't have a record player. She's like, do you want it? I'm like, well, no, I don't want to take your records. Like, you know, I'll fucking give you some money or something. She's like, no. She's like, let me think about it. So we're driving home, and you know, we're talking about records and shit. And then I'm leaving the next morning, so I'm going through her collection, and I saw it was the Chesterfield King EP.
Oh, wow.
So it's Chesterfield King on side A, and then there's like the Joan Jett cover on the back on the flip side. I forget what else is on it. Anyway, so it's like so I didn't plan on taking this record from her, and she wasn't really sure if she wanted to get rid of it, but I had left early in the morning, and I left $20 and a note.
Like, so you didn't really steal it. You just.
I'm like, yeah.
Well,
yeah, and I'm like,
I don't know what that's actually classified as.
I don't know what it classifies as either, but it was like, I don't know. But I left a note and $20. I'm like, I'm giving this Jawbreaker record a good home. Hope you don't mind. I mean, we laughed about it years later, but it was just, I felt weird about it, you know, but I'm like, I need this fucking Jawbreaker record.
I want the 24-hour Revenge Therapy album on vinyl. That's one I want to get.
Oh yeah, the reissues are nice. I don't know.
Yeah, I want the original of that one though, because I was at a flea market one time, and my wife and I just swung into a flea market. Didn't have any money, which don't ever do because you're gonna hate yourself.
Yes.
And it was there. I had no cash, and it was like time constraint that day, and we just were stopped by to like kill some time, and it was only like $35 or $40 at that time. I should have did it, but
should have just went for it.
Yeah, I should have went and found some.
I have a real quick Jawbreaker record story. Real quick. It won't keep you too long. So there was a record store in town called Red Rocker. You know, and the guy, like, his name was Bruce, but he went by the Red Rocker. He had long red hair, and he was a rocker. you know, and he had this record store, and he usually carried like a lot of like at the time like Metallica, Slayer, tapes and vinyl, and they and I would go in there as like a 14-year-old kid and be like, can you order this Youth of Today record for me? You know what I mean? Like he's like, I don't know what that shit is, But anyway, but he did it. He would do it. He would order me all this shit, and then they were going out of business, and he just like so he was like, it was kind of like an everything must go kind of deal, and I'm like, well. And this was years later. And at that time, I was like, I pretty much have everything, Like, I've been to that store so many fucking times. I know his inventory. Probably not going to find anything, but let me just go and see what's in there. And, I bought a couple U2 records. I got War on Gatefold, I love that record. I got The Unforgettable Fire, which is cool. It has a couple good hits on it. I'm not a big U2 fan, but early U2 is cool. I found an original pressing of Jawbreaker Unfun. Just fucking sitting there between like Jethro Tull and fucking Janis Joplin. It was like Janis Joplin, Jawbreaker, Jethro Tull. And I'm like, what the fuck is this doing here? I'm so glad I came here today because this is coming home with me. And it was like an original press, and it was like...
This is a local town?
Yeah, Manahawkin, right here in Manahawkin.
Wow. Yeah.
Like half a mile from where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah, why would you find that there? That's awesome.
Exactly. I'm like, how? I've been to that store so many fucking times. I never once saw that record. And it had clearly been sitting there in that bin forever. I probably just never went to that bin because it was just like the classic rock. Or whatever,
you don't need to go through Jethro Tull. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But I figured, okay, he's going out of business. Shit's on sale. Let me see what he's got, And I fucking came across that Jawbreaker record. I'm like, fucking hell. This is a great day,
There you go.
Look, I'm talking about it 20 whatever years later,
Yeah.
I remember it. I remember that day. I remember it just staring at me, sitting there in that fucking bin.
That's awesome. Cool. That's awesome. These are good stories. So we're gonna have to do another episode again.
Yeah, we should. I'd love to. It'd be fun.
Yeah. We'll kind of narrow it down a little bit more.
Yeah. Again, I'm sorry. I knew.
No, don't be, because I think people like listening to it.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to do.
And that's what's cool about it. Everyone's got their story. You know what I mean? Everyone, like, records tell a fucking story, whether people want to believe it or not. They do. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean? And like for me, approaching 50, to remember walking in that store and finding that Jawbreaker record, that was important to me. You know what I mean? And it's cool to talk about to someone that wants to hear it.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, man. This has been fun.
This was great, Brian. Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Yeah.
Again, it was great seeing your face and hearing your voice, dude. It's been.
I know. Are you going to the Shelter Civ show?
I don't know. Probably not, honestly.
Okay. I'm coming down.
You are?
Yes.
For the show in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Wherever the fuck it is, Bethlehem.
So I'm taking the train. I'm going down. I got a hotel in Bensalem, 10 minutes away from the show. And okay. I know Jen's going.
Yeah, Jen was at my house last week. She said she was going.
Yep.
She didn't mention you were going.
She should have. Yeah. So, because I haven't seen you or her or them in forever.
Oh, fuck it. Okay, I'm going.
Yeah. So if you could, I don't know. Yeah. So go, because then the next day I'm coming back up, and then they're playing this place called the Met in Rhode Island, which is 10 minutes from my house. Sick. So I'm doing, it's called my Civ Extravaganza, 2 days. And then I'm just going to lay on the couch on Sunday and just hate having to go to work Monday. But
but you're going to,
I never got a chance to see Civ. So
oh shit, really?
No. So, and I'm absolutely over the moon.
How's that possible?
I don't know.
How's that possible that you've never seen Civ? You know how many times they fucking played when you were living here? Like, how is that possible?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's fucking awesome.
I think there was a point where I got like into like punk rock, like real like, hardcore punk, and I kind of like veered off of like hardcore a little bit, even though I still listen to it, but
I get it. No, I totally get it. Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. I'm happy for you then. Well, then fuck it. I will go to that show. We're going to hang out. Yeah.
Do it. Yeah. Everything's in the works. It's still good. No issues. So.
Okay, great. Love it. Very cool.
All right. Gonna sign off.
Yes, Brian. Thanks again, man. This was fun.